to the video session of Standard 7 History. In this session, you are going to see the third unit. The topic of this unit is Jainism, Buddhism and Ajvika philosophy in Tamil Nadu. Come, let's get into this session.
Unit 3 Jainism, Buddhism and Ajvika philosophy in Tamil Nadu. After learning this lesson, you come to know the sources and literature of heterodox religious sects, Jainism, Buddhism and Ajvika. You can gain knowledge of the teachings of Mahavira, Buddha and Kosala, the founder of Ajvika sect. You can acquaint yourself with the monuments of the above mentioned religious sects in Tamil Nadu. In the 6th century BC, according to the Bihar Nitaya, that is an ancient Buddhist tract, as many as 62 different philosophical and religious schools flourished in India. Among these numerous sects, only the Ajvaikas survived till the late medieval times. But Jainism and Buddhism continued to flourish until the modern times. Buddha and Mahavira, the founders of these two faiths, based their ethical teachings against the sacrificial cult of the Vedic religion. Let us see the sources and literature. Jainism. All the Mahavira's teaching weren't documented as it was considered to be the position, but after the death of Mahavira, the disciples had planned to document it. They assembled in Pataliputra about documenting Mahavira's teaching, but it ended in failure. Second meeting was held at Vallabhi and was successful. 5 great vows of Jainism: non-violence, ahimsa; truth, satya; non-stealing, acharya; celibacy or chastity, brahmacharya; non-possession, aparigraha. A major split occurred in Jainism, giving rise to two major sects, namely Digambaras and Svetambaras. Jain literature. Jain literature is generally classified into two major categories: Agama Sutras and non-Agama literature. Agama Sutras. Agama Sutras consist of many sacred books of the Jain religion. They have been written in Ardha Mahadi Prakrit language, containing the direct preachings of Mahavira, consisting of 12 texts. They were originally compiled by immediate disciples of Mahavira. The 12th Agama Sutra is said to have been lost. Non-Agama literature. Non-Agama literature includes commentary and explanation of Agama Sutras and independent works compiled by the ascetics and scholars. They were written in many languages such as Prakrit, Sanskrit, Old Marathi, Rajasthani, Gujarati, Hindi, Kannada, Tamil, German and English. Recognition was given to 84 books, and among them there are 41 sutras, 12 commentaries and 1 Mahabhashya or great commentary. The 41 sutras include 11 angas, that is scriptures followed by Vedambras, 12 upangas, instruction manuals, 5 chedas, rules of conduct for the monks, 5 mulas, the basic doctrine of Jainism, and 8 miscellaneous works such as Kalpasutra of Bhadra Bahu. It is believed that Panchatantra has a great amount of Jain influence. In addition to this, we have some Jain texts composed in Indian vernacular languages such as Hindi, Tamil and Kannada. Jivaka Chindamani, a Tamil epic poem, is a good example, composed in the tradition of Sangam literature by a Jain saint named Tirutakadevar. It narrates the life of a pious king who rose to prominence by his own merit, only to become an ascetic in the end. Another scholarly work in Tamil, Naladiyar, is also attributed to Jain monk. Tirukkural was composed by Thiruvalluvar believed to be a Jain scholar. Jains in Tamil Nadu. There is a clear evidence of the movements of Jains from Karnataka to the Kongu region. Kongu regions means Salem, Erode and Coimbatore areas. To the Kaveri Delta, that is Tiruchirappalli, southwards into the Pudukkottai region and finally into a Pandya kingdom, that is Madurai, Ramanathapuram and Tirunelveli districts. Tamils broadly come under Digambara sect. It is believed that the Galbaras were the patrons of Jainism. The Sittanavasal Cave Temple. Sittanavasal Cave in Pudukkottai district is located on a prominent rock that stands 70 meters above the ground. It has a natural cavern known as Eladi at one end and the rock-cut cave temple at the other. Behind the fenced cavern, there are 17 rock beds marked on the floor. The stone birds lying in rows are believed to have served as a Jain shelter. The largest of these Aztec beds contains a Tamil Brahmi inscriptions that dates to the 2nd century BC. There are more inscriptions in Tamil from the 8th century AD bearing the names of monks. It is believed that they should have spent their lives in isolation here. The Sittanavasal Cave Temple, named Arivar Koil, lies on the west of the hillock. The facade of the temple is simple with 4 rocket columns, constructed in the early Pandya period. The 7th century AD, it has a hall in the front called Ardha Mandapam and a smaller cell at the rear, which is the Garbhagriha. The murals in the temple resembles the fresco of the famous Ajanta caves. Jains in Kanchipuram. Jainism flourished during the Pallava reign. The 2 Jain temples in Kanchipuram are Trailokyananda Jinnaswamy Temple at Tirupati Kundram on the banks of river Palar and Chandraprabha Temple dedicated to Tirthangara named Chandraprabha. The architecture of these temples is in Pallava style, but it has deteriorated in due course of time. During the Vijayanagar rule, Irugappa, a disciple of Jaina Muni Pushpesana and a minister of Vijayanagar king Harihara II, expanded the Tirulokyananda temple by adding the Sangeeta Mandapam. The grand murals were added only at this time. Mural paintings in the temple shows scenes from the lives of Tiruthangaras. Unfortunately, the paintings of Tirulokyananda temple at Tirupati Kundram have been ruined by over-painting done during renovation. There is a rich inscriptional evidence inside the second shrine, the Traikudapasti, containing information on the development of temple and the contribution of various donors over the centuries. In Kanchipuram district, apart from Tirupati Kundram, Jain vestiges have been found over the years in many villages across the state. Let us see Kazhugamalai Jain Rock Cut Temple. The 8th century Kazhugamalai Temple in Kovilpatti Taluk in Thoothukudi district marks the revival of Jainism in Tamil Nadu. This cave temple was built by King Prantaka Nedunjadayan of the Pandyan kingdom. The polished rock-cut cave beds, popularly known as Panjavar Padukkai at Kazhugamalai Cavern, house the figures. Not only the Tiruthangaras, but also the figures of Yakshas and Yakshis, that is the male and the female attendants respectively. Jain temples in other parts of Tamil Nadu. First we will see about Vellore. 14 Jain monk beds dating back to the 5th century AD have been excavated inside 3 caverns on the top of a hill in Vellore district. The beds are found at the Bhairavamalai in Lateri, Katpadi Taluk, Vellore district. Of the 3 caverns, 2 of them house beds, one houses 4 rock beds while the other houses 1 bed. Unlike many rock beds found elsewhere, these ones have no headrests. Tirumalai. Tirumalai is a Jain temple in a cave complex located near Arani town in Tiruvannamalai district in Tamil Nadu. The complex dated to 12th century AD, includes 3 Jain caves, 2 Jain temples and a 16-meter high sculptures of Neminada. The 22nd Tirutangara, the image of Neminada, is considered to be the tallest Jain image in Tamil Nadu. Madurai. There are 26 caves, 200 stone beds, 60 inscriptions and over 100 sculptures in and around Madurai. The Kira Kuil Kudi is a striking example. This hillock is 12 kilometers west of Madurai on the Madurai-Theni highway. The sculptures are assigned to the period of Parandaga Veera Narayana Pandian, who ruled from AD 860 to 900. There are 8 sculptures. The images of Rishabhnath are Adinath, Mahavira, Pashyadvant and Bahubali are found here. The contribution to education. Jaina monasteries and temples also served as the seats of learning. Education was imparted in this institution to the people irrespective of caste and creed. Palli is an educational center of Jains, and villages bearing the suffix of the Palli are common in many places in Tamil Nadu. Buddhism. Buddha's original name Siddhartha Sakya Muni Gautama. If translated in English, it means Gautama, who belongs to a Sakya tribe and who had reached the goal of perfection. Gautama Buddha was a contemporary of Mahavira. His father ruled the tribe of Sakya in a region near the present-day Nepal. Gautama found that he had nothing to learn from the teachers of the old religion. The religious proclaimed that the only way to salvation was through living the life of an ascetic. But despite practicing asceticism, Gautama would not arrive anywhere near the truth. And one night, as he sat under a Bodhi tree struggling with his doubt and his loneliness, a great peace ascended on him. He was no longer Gautama the sceptic, but became Buddha the enlightened. At last, he had succeeded in understanding the great mystery of human suffering, its causes and its cure. Asserting that both the king and the hermit were wrong, he discovered the middle path. The middle path is based on an eightfold path of right understanding, right thought, right speech, right action, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, right concentration. Buddha taught not the glory of God, but the power of love. He held the view that all men are born to the equality of rights. He undertook long journeys and carried his messages far and wide. Buddha preached his teaching in Prakrit. His 4 noble truths are: life includes pain, getting old, disease, and ultimately death. Suffering is caused by craving and aversion. Suffering can be overcome and happiness attained. True happiness and contentment are possible if one pursues the eightfold path. Buddhist literatures. Buddha's teachings for a long time were transmitted through the memory of teachers and disciples. They were reduced to writing by AD BC and were written in the Pali language. The Pali Canon Tripitaka has 3 divisions, also known as threefold basket. They include Vinaya Pitaka, contains the rules of the order of Buddhist monks which must be observed for achieving purity of contact. Sutta Pitaka lays down the principles of religion by citing discourages as evidence. Abhidhamma Pitaka is the latest of Tripitaka. It deals with the ethics, philosophy, and metaphysics. Other prominent canonical literary works in Buddhism include Jatakas. that is, various stories of the lives of Buddha found in Buddhist literature. Buddha Vamsa, a legend in verse containing a narration of the life and the activities of 24 Buddhas who are believed to have preceded Gautama. Apart from the above canonical literature, there is a long series of non-canonical literature in Pali. Above canonical literature, there is a long series of non-canonical literature in Pali. They include Milinda Banha, which means the questions of Milinda. The two famous Ceylonese chronicles are Mahavamsa and Deepavamsa. Mahavamsa deals with the royal dynasties of the Indian subcontinents, including Sri Lanka, while the Deepavamsa deals with the arrival of Buddha's teaching and preachers in Sri Lanka. Buddha Ghosha's Vishuddhi Maha is a later work. He is the first Buddhist commentator. Sanskrit literature became prominent in Buddhism with the rise of Mahayana Buddhism. Buddha Charitra, written by Asvaghosha, is an epic style Sanskrit work. It tells the life history of Gautama Buddha. Let us see the Buddhism in Tamilagam. Buddhism is believed to have spread to Tamil country by the Ceylonese missionaries. The evidence in support of this is some monuments of the Pandya country, which are assigned to the 3rd century. The monuments are in caverns known as Panja Pandava Malai. Buddhism seems to have flourished and coexisted peacefully with Jainism, Ajvaikam, and also with various sects of Hinduism. The Devara hymns of Saiva saints and Nalayira Divya Prabandham of Vaishnava Arvas provided evidence to the challenges Buddhism faced in Tamil country. Though Buddhism faced challenges from Saiva and Vaishnava sects from the Pallava period onwards, one of the exceptions was Nagapattinam, which was supported by the Chola kings not for religious but for political reasons. Chudamani Vihara of Nagapattinam was constructed by Sri Vijaya king with the patronage of Rajaraja Chola. This vihara has been since destroyed. The Tamil epic Manimegalai, written by Kulavanigan Seethalai Sathanar, is considered a typical representation of Tamil Buddhism. Sathanar indesigned Buddhism into Tamil Buddhism by communicating a large set of Buddhist terms in Tamil as translation from Sanskrit and Pali. There is a record about a Buddhist monk named Vajrabodhi, who was killed in tantric rituals, but this monk left by the Pallava court for China. Mahendra Varman's Mattavilasa Prahasana describes Buddhism as a religion in decay. In the field of education, Buddhist sanghas and viharas served as the centers of education. Students from the various parts of the world became here to receive education. Nalanda, Taxila, and Vikramshila gained reputation as great educational centers. They were originally Buddhist viharas. Students from Tibet and China were influenced by Buddhism and they took effective steps to spread Buddhism. Excavations of Buddhist vihara and a temple in Kaveri Pumpattinam and hundreds of stones and bronze sculptures by ASI from over 125 sites have proved the spread of the religion in the state. A 1.03 meter Buddha statue in Padmasana pose in remote Tirunattiyandankudi village in Tiruvarur district was unearthed when digging a tank in a field. Ajvaika philosophy. The Ajvaikas believed in the doctrine of karma, transmigration of the soul, determinism. The head of Ajvaika sect was Kosala Mangaliputta. The Ajvaikas believed in the doctrine of karma, transmigration of the soul, and determinism. Kosala was the head of Ajvaika sect. Kosala was closely associated with Mahavira for 6 years and then parted company. The Mauryan emperor Ashoka and his grandson Dasaratha patronized the Ajvikas. Throughout history, Ajvikas had to face persecution everywhere. Village communities under Pallavas, Cholas, and Hosalas imposed special taxes on them. Despite such obstacles, Ajvikas continued to have influence along the Palar River in the modern states of Karnataka and Tamil Nadu. In the end, they seemed to have been absorbed into Vaishnavism. Students, let us recall what we have learned so far. We have learned the sources and literature of Jainism, and we have seen the presence of Jains in Tamil country, and we have also seen the monuments and art in Tamilagam, particularly Sittanavasal and Kalugumalai. The Jain contribution to the educations through Pali is also explained here. We have seen the Buddhist teaching and Buddhism in Tamil country is explored. Buddhist legacy in Tamilagam is discussed in this lesson, and we also seen the essence of Ajvika philosophy and its presence in Tamil Nadu. Students, I believe that you all understand this lesson. Thank you.